Hi guys, my name is Marie and welcome to my Kawaii world. So last week I did a little shelf tour and I showed you all the stuff I have back here, and I didn't go into detail on my Japanese craft books, which are stored right there. But today I'm going to show you my Japanese craft book collection, and if you're not familiar with Japanese craft books, you're in for a treat. This first book is a good one. It shows you how to make all these different Disney Tsum Tsum characters out of, guess what they're made out of? They're made out of yarn. These are essentially different pom pom balls that are trimmed. I think back in 2017 when I was leaving Japan, this pom pom ball art was really growing in popularity, and the earlier versions were really lifelike looking animals that actually looked very real, and you could just wear them as a brooch or something. So after that, other versions of pom pom ball art came out, and since I had already purchased the little circular discs that you use to make pom pom balls, I decided to just pick up this book because I could learn how to make cute ones. To be honest, I never ended up making as many of these as I had planned. It turns out that I like to purchase and hoard Japanese craft books as well as craft kits, and I just never do them. However, I do get a certain level of satisfaction by just having these books in my possession. So for the first few characters, they give you really detailed instructions on how to make the characters, and they show you like step by step how to do this. But then later on in the book, it just provides directions and patterns, and it doesn't give you the step-by-step instructions. So they can be a little deceiving. You just want to make sure to look through the entire book before you buy it to make sure that it will meet your needs. Are you guys familiar with the Ufufi characters? These are basically egg-shaped Disney plushies, and this is an origami book that teaches you how to make all these Disney characters in the ufufi shape, and they're really chubby and really adorable. Origami is the Japanese art of paper folding, and my kids do basic origami right now. These particular designs are pretty advanced and require a lot of different steps and a lot of precision, so even for me it's kind of hard, but I figure that we can do this when my kids get older. A lot of Japanese crafts are kind of useless. So the pom-pom balls, what are you really going to do with those things? But with origami, I think that you can make a nice art collage. So wouldn't it be cute to make a bunch of different Disney characters and then put them onto a piece of white paper and then frame it on your wall? Or if you have a friend or a loved one who really likes a particular character, then you could make this and put it on a birthday card, and I think that would be really cute. It looks like I started making Ariel's hair, but I don't think I ever finished her. My daughter and I did make Stitch though. I really love Sanrio, so of course I had to get this Sanrio Origami book. I mean, these designs are just so adorable. Like the Ufufi origami book, this one is also quite advanced and requires multiple pieces of paper and complicated folds. Whoever came up with these folds and designs has to be brilliant. Have you guys heard of Shinkaizoku? I've actually never seen this in the US, but I've seen it quite a bit in Japan. In the back, they show you these detailed drawings of how to draw the faces because you actually have to draw those on. If you're wondering about the price range, most of these books average about $10 US or 1,000 Japanese yen. This Sumikokurashi craft book is a little bit different than your typical Japanese craft book. Most of the Japanese craft books cover a single topic, for instance, needle felting or origami or sewing coin purses. But this is about a particular character, and it has a variety of different crafts related to that character. So they had needle felting and sewing little characters out of felt. This is amigurumi, which is crocheting little characters, and they also have some shrink eating projects, perler beads, just a ton of different crafts all surrounding this suite of characters. I think that this is called needle punch, and it's something that I've been wanting to get into, but I just haven't had a chance to do it yet. One of these days, I want to have my own craft studio or craft shop where I can practice all of these different crafts and invite people over and maybe have classes or something like that. I think that would be really fun. This book follows a similar pattern as the previous ones, with all of the bright and pretty colored pictures in the front and then all of the precise details and instructions in black and white towards the back of the book. More Tsum Tsums. I do have a weakness for Tsum Tsums. I think these are so adorable. And these Tsum Tsums are made out of felt and you can hand sew them together. Actually, on my channel, I did tutorials on how to make some of the Disney princesses, and they provide patterns in this book, but what I did was I just used a printout of the Tsum Tsum images. I think I made Anna and Elsa, and I'm not sure if I ever edited the videos for the other princesses, but yeah, I made those. I still have them somewhere in my stash. You guys are probably wondering what you would use these things for. And in Japan, there's sort of a culture among kids of putting your favorite keychains on your backpack. So sometimes you'll see people with these handmade keychains of their favorite characters on their school backpack or on tote bags. I think in Japan, there's a big culture and appreciation for things that are handcrafted and made with love and care. So these kinds of things are pretty popular. So when I lived in Japan, my daughter Sienna was 3 years old and she was going to Japanese preschool, which is called Yochan, and there she had to have a whole bunch of things. I'll probably do a separate video on Japanese Yochan. I've been wanting to do that for some time because it's kind of difficult if you're not familiar with the culture to figure out what's going on. So every child has to have a multitude of bags. There's a big book bag that you need to have, also a bag for your shoes, a bag for your spoon, fork, and utensil set, and then a separate bag for your cup. So parents are encouraged to make these by hand in many cases, and you can buy these in the store, and you can also hire a tailor to make them. But when I was there, I decided to go all in and make Sienna's Yochan bags for her, so that's why I purchased this book. I think I saw this book at Joyful Hansa, which is sort of an everything store that has a craft section, and I had to buy this because these little pieces are just so gorgeous. I love these little fairies. I love the pastel colors. I love the sequins and the beading. Everything is just so pretty, and I'm not really sure what I would do with these once I make them. Maybe I could use them as a brooch or sort of a pin on my backpack. I'm not really sure, but just having this book and looking at these pictures makes me feel soothed and happy. I think that this is a combination of using needle felting wool and also beads and sequins, so it's really an intricate piece, really just a piece of art. The nice thing about this book is that it really breaks down every piece and provides step-by-step instructions with photographs, unlike a lot of the other craft books. So I really like this one, but I haven't made any of these things yet. This is just another one of those Japanese craft books that I've decided to hoard, but I really love this and I'm just gonna keep it, and one of these days I will make these. Okay, so do you guys remember in the beginning of this video when I was talking about the Pom Pom trend in Japan? Well, this is the first book that came out, or the first book that I saw anyway. So I saw it and I was like, wow, this is a new craft. So I had to buy all of the tools to do this. And the aesthetics of this book is very different from the Disney Tsum Tsum one. These pom-poms are made to look pretty realistic, and I like how they style the pom-poms in this video. It looks like a lot of people are using them as brooches or to pin on their bags or hats. And some of these are really cute, but they are definitely a lot more real looking. And in Japan, you can even buy eyeballs that look like real animal eyeballs. Like this, like that cat. And In the Tsum Tsum one, they use just those typical black plastic beady eyes. So anyway, if you have a friend that is into a particular type of animal, or if your friend has a cat or a dog, then you can make them a custom pom pom ball that looks just like their animal friend. One time when I was walking around the Dongdaemun beads market, which is an insane beads market, if you guys are interested, I do have a video on that. But I saw this lady who had a booth and she was selling these pom pom balls, and she was just sitting behind the booth cutting and trimming her animal figures. So as you can see, this particular book involves a little bit of needle felting as well, not just the pom pom. So to make the ears and maybe the nose, they also used felting wool. This next book shows you how to make little coin purses, and I am obsessed with these adorable Japanese coin purses. You can buy the frames at places like Daiso, and they also sell them at the craft store, and then you have to cut out fabric and sew it, and then you can either sew it into the frame or glue it into the frame. And this book just has different variations and ideas on how to make coin purses. They have different types of frames. They have round frames and square ones and longer ones that you can use to put your glasses in. So I just thought this was really adorable, and I had to have at least one coin purse book in my collection, so I decided to get this one. If you buy a coin purse frame kit at Daiso, it will come with a pattern on how to cut out the bag, but I just wanted to have this in case I decided to make different variations like this square one. And I've also seen something that's sort of like a wallet where you can store your sewing needles. Okay, this next book is something that I saw in Japan, wanted it, decided not to buy it because I figured I would never ever sew any of these aprons. And then I kept thinking about it, and then I went online and I purchased this through a Japanese proxy buyer. And I still haven't made these aprons, but Sienna used to be in a phase where she loved princesses, and I made her a bell style apron by hand. I just made up my own pattern, but I wanted to have this, maybe I'll make something for Valentina because Sienna is done with the princess phase. But I also thought this would be cute to make Halloween costumes, or just costumes that the kids could wear when they were playing dress up at home. But I think I'm gonna have to get on it and start making these soon, because in a couple of years I think my kids are gonna be done with this kind of make-believe pretend play, which makes me really sad. Okay, you guys, this next book is absolutely insane. I'm not really sure why I bought this. This is so hard, but everything in here is so cute, and I've seen these cute Tsum Tsum pull-apart breads on Instagram. I tried making the Pooh Bear one, and it was super difficult. The thing about these breads is they use natural coloring, so I think the lady used beetroot powder and maybe spirulina or something like that. To make the faces, you use chocolate or a chocolate pen, and the level of detail on these breads is just so amazing. But this is something that is really advanced, and I am still learning how to use yeast properly and just make a plain loaf of bread that doesn't taste really hard and disgusting. Anyway, if you are a talented baker, then maybe you could take on a project like this. When I made my Pooh Bear pull-apart bread, it looked like something from Nailed It. But you know what? I'm going to continue to hold on to this book. Maybe one of these days I will take a baking class and learn how to properly make bread. And then once I get that basic step down, then I can move on to these more advanced breads. I think that my kids, my family would really love eating this. This next book shows you how to make different types of craft boxes and little useful storage drawers out of recycled milk cartons. Yes, these adorable boxes are made of milk cartons, and I ended up washing and drying and saving all of my milk cartons from Japan in anticipation of making these boxes, but I never actually made any of these. Look at this picture though. This was before the time of Marie Kondo. Doesn't this help you to better understand the type of person she is and the culture that she comes from? Even though I haven't made any of these, I think that I was looking at the directions really carefully one time, and the amount of precision in the directions is pretty insane. They go down to the centimeter. So that's one of the things that I really like about Japanese craft books is they have great precision, but the only problem is sometimes it's easier said than done. So it could be really hard to execute this. If you're even off by a little bit, then your whole project will be thrown off. There's not a ton of margin for error. So the supplies for this are pretty simple. You need cardboard, rulers, scissors, glue, tape, and fabric, and also a X-Acto knife or a box cutter that will allow you to cut with precision. I really like how this book uses recycled materials and cheap things that you can find at home. So this is my very first Japanese craft book. It's by Aranzi Aronzo, and this is the only one that has instructions in English, and I actually purchased this off of Amazon, so I think you could still find it online. I'll try to link it in the description box if I can find it. I bought this book when I was pregnant with Sienna, and before I had kids I used to do a lot of sewing. I even sewed some of my own clothes for work. And I bought this book because I wanted to make a few cute things for my baby, and I did end up making some of the things in this book. The author of this book seems to have a lot of personality, and it really comes through in the instructions. I think that everything is really cute and slightly funky and humorous. I ended up purchasing another one of his books about making little felt figures, and I'm not really sure where it is. I think I may have lent it to my aunt. But anyway, I did end up making a bottle holder, which is this thing, for Sienna, and I didn't really use it a ton because she was not really a bottle drinker, and the bottles that we used did not fit into that little case. And I also made a couple of pouches, which I ended up using a ton. I think in this book they are drawstring bags, but I ended up making them into zipper pouches. Here they are. So I use these to organize all the stuff in my baby bag or my backpack, and they got a ton of use, both with Valentina and Sienna. I never really got around to making the rest of this stuff, but I'm gonna continue to hold on to this book because I think it's really cute, and maybe if anyone I know has a baby in the future, I'll make something for them. This book is a needle felting book, and if you looked at my oldest videos, the first videos I made were needle felting. I started this out as a needle felting channel, and I ended up doing a lot of other things, but this is one of the books that I bought early on when I was really into needle felting. So in the beginning of this book, they show you how to make the characters step by step, but then as you proceed towards the back, they don't break it down into those small steps. They just give you more general instructions, but that's okay. I was still able to figure out how to make Pooh Bear, and I actually have a tutorial on that on my YouTube channel if you guys are interested. So I do have more craft books, and this video is turning out to be a lot longer than I had anticipated, and I've only done about half my craft book. So what I think I'm going to do is create a part 2 video with my remaining craft books. A lot of them are needle felting books, but I have some other ones. So let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see that, and I will go ahead and make it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know in the comments if you collect any craft books, and check out these playlists for more fun stuff to watch. I'll talk to you next time. Bye!